If you run a company or manage a team, hiring qualified people quickly can make or break your business. Imagine a position of need going unfilled for weeks or even months because you just can't seem to find the right candidate. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. This makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts. You only pay for results on your job post. Just in the last minute that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Now that is fast. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. Listeners will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/BWN. Go to Indeed.com/BWN right now to support this podcast. Indeed.com/BWN. Terms and conditions apply.
Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
I'm thinking about getting into a grift, guys. We don't grift enough. We don't grift
do
enough.
it. There's enough grifters. Society has moved past the need for grifters.
Oh, are we a post-grifter society?
No, absolutely
I
not.
would like to be.
Is it? I mean, are we in like the grifter age? Because like it seemed that's what it is. Like,
I mean,
you
listen,
have to be a grifter to get by now.
We had the Gilded Age. Now we have the grifter age.
Mhm.
Hustle culture has led us to the grifter age.
Now, to be fair, the grifter age never ended.
Okay.
No,
We've always been in the
it's
grifter
just
age.
back in vogue.
Okay.
Like you can do grifts again. You just have to dress it up in AI and crypto and things of this nature. Oh, and hustle and wellness. You have so many options now.
Okay. What are you gonna do, Jordan?
I'm thinking we go back to old school snake oil.
Okay.
I was streaming something illegally from a website that I won't mention that has like not the best ads. And I think telling men they have low testosterone while just like giving them all the options, that seems like the best way to do this because it really preys on men's insecurities.
You're going to wind up on Joe Rogan so fucking fast.
I know. I'm going to make well, they have creams, they have patches, they have injections, they have pills, a testosterone suppository.
What?
There's a part of me that wants you to explain how this works.
No.
But I don't actually want to know. And B, I think the people who would fall for a testosterone suppository wouldn't care how it would work.
I feel like I've watched enough Dr. Ruth to know that, if you're heading the suppository route, you're going to get a reaction.
I just can't imagine Jordan selling me something that says only alpha males stick stuff up their butt.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying.
Real men do butt stuff.
That's exactly what we're saying here.
My God, no.
Real alpha
Happy Pride,
male.
everybody.
No. Jesus.
Or maybe, okay, so maybe not a suppository. How else can you get things into your body? Can you snort it? Snort a line of pure testosterone?
Well, I mean, you said snake oil. So, I mean, like, are we drinking? We're gonna make some oil here. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, are we like a traveling medicine
Simpson and
show?
Sons
Is that what we're doing?
tonic here. I mean, what are we doing?
See, this was the problem. This was what you could do back in the day.
Dr. Sickos Wonder Pep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How many times, Commish, how many times have I made graphics for you back in the day that looked like absinthe bottles or snake oil bottles, and you were always like, no, that's not us. What are you doing?
No, I mean, this is what you wanted to do all along, and I had to like rein you in, but now I can't.
Now he's got it in his head.
He's got it in his head. He's had it in his head all along. I've just been trying.
He's just been waiting for his moment to strike.
That's right.
With his snake oil.
A Sickos pre-workout supplement. I mean,
okay, I am kind of listening to that one.
Made with pure tortoise shell. Everyone knows that tortoise shell gets you ready for workouts.
Yeah.
Can you?
There's got to be a red shell though, right? We're not selling any green shells.
No.
It's red
what
shell, blue shell, baby.
Red shell, blue shell only.
Okay, technically, it's not the blue shell.
Okay.
It's not what it's called. It's called the spiny shell.
But it is blue.
Yes.
But it's not the blue shell. That's not the actual Nintendo licensed term. And because we're becoming a Nintendo podcast,
we're going to use the Nintendo licensed term and get sued into oblivion?
I mean,
no, because we're going to be a Nintendo podcast.
The best.
That's the same way that when we become a Disney podcast, I'm going to mention every Disney property by the exact name. I loved going to the Walt Disneyland Resort in Orlando, Florida, and going to Disney's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Copyright, Mark. You got to say that little thing.
No, Commish, you have to watch the 4-hour video where she talks about
Stop
the way
it.
people talk
It's
about
all coming
Disneyland
back to me watching this
Disney
4-hour video
on Disney property, on Disney podcasts and other visual and audio media. No one talks like that. It's insane. It's pure brand speak.
But yeah, I think
Beth is having a moment.
The Pacers are having a moment.
Listeners, if you don't know,
I'm trying to like watch it behind you and not like wig out.
Listeners, it's 9:05 p.m. Central on the 22nd, and it's Game 7. The two best words in all of sports.
Oh my God! Don't do this to me.
And so Beth
it's bad enough that I watched Halliburton die an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, and ESPN apparently decided to show it like 17 times in a row.
I liked the close-up on his sock where you can watch the logo on his Adidas sock snap along with his Achilles tendon. Thank you,
Is
ESPN.
that what I missed when I was in the
Oh,
car?
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I just saw that he got hurt, and then I came home and everyone was like, stop showing the injury. And I went, not looking that up. Nope. I've done, no, I've seen too many injuries before. And too many people talking about it where I'm just that's none of my business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will not look that up.
Please don't. I did not wish to see it. I did not wish to see it once, let alone 847 times, including in super duper slow-mo all zoomed in.
I can't lead into the show now with that. So
I'm sorry. I'm watching a Pacers snuff film right now, and it is making me incredibly sad.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos podcast.
Speaking of Halliburton in the news.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of June 22nd, 2025. As always, I am Jordan. With me tonight, I have Commish, Beth, and special guest Big Sky Brigit. Someone posted
on vacation.
Yeah, Big Girl is in a
undisclosed location.
Parts
I was going to say moving enriched uranium from an Iranian lab, but okay.
No.
Fine.
She's living her best life somewhere not here.
I wanted to say that Flatland Sports on Twitter posted that his project from last summer. Do y'all remember last summer when all of our followers decided to put together the whole states with high school football logos, like every state?
Yeah, that we really did that.
Yeah. And so a lot of our followers did this, and it was absolutely insane. Flatland Sports did the Texas one. And it reminded me, and I brought this up, from Valentine High School in Texas. Valentine High School in Texas has 6 students.
That's not a lot.
No, that's not a lot.
That's even smaller than the high school I went to, which had 341 students total.
Oh, that puts you solidly in like 3A here in Texas.
Yeah. Brigit would have been playing a six-man football, I think, maybe.
What percentage of school districts near to you, Jordan, have more high schools than that particular high school has students?
Oh, I mean, a bunch of them.
The entire school district around you, because I know that exact school district, and they've got like
my school district only has 3. My school district only has 3, but they're all big.
Yeah. Well, they've got like stadiums for high school football the size of like Washington Grizzly Stadium.
Oh yeah. I will say that for a while, Valentine Public School, I don't know if they actually do this anymore, but they have a basketball team.
Stop showing it. Why?
Oh my God. I just saw it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's in the fourth quarter.
I'm really glad I was looking away. Jesus Christ.
The Valentine Pirates, for a while, had a basketball team. They had 6 people on that team, and it was a co-ed team because they didn't have an option. So the other side of that is Allen High School near me, which has 6,947 students, which might be too big.
Yeah, that part of far North Dallas is just kind of insane.
Yeah, I feel like having 6,940. Now it's across 2 campuses. The 9th grade campus is across the street, and they count them.
But 9th grade campus, a campus just for a grade.
What is?
I had to share a building with my middle school when I went to my very small high school. We weren't big enough for it. Like, they only recently got 2 separate buildings.
What were you saying, Commish?
No, it's just I just think a separate campus. It's like, what is this, university?
Uh-huh.
It's like the branch campus. It's like UTSA, the normal campus, and the one UTSA downtown.
Yeah, they have the 9th graders go across. The 9th graders go across the street.
They gotta go across the street.
Do they have a fucking footbridge?
No, and it's actually a really busy street.
Yeah, because it's Texas.
Yeah,
well, you've got to try to shrink down the population so they fit on the 10th grade campus.
That is definitely true.
So yeah, I was very happy. Flatland Sports, man.
I'm at me, Pitt fans. You know what happens in the bus lane.
I can't believe Flatland Sports did every one of these. He even shrunk down some of the, because I mean, some of the counties are just insane here. I'm going to drop it in the chat. There are 2 counties in Texas that do not have high schools. And there's 1 county in Texas that has like 40 of them.
Yeah. Loving is the one with none, right?
They're one of 2. The other one's Kennedy County in South Texas.
Oh, I didn't know about Kennedy. All right.
It's right north of the valley.
I know that whenever you say that, they don't have a high school, what you're saying is their population is too small, so they don't have a high school. But I really want what you're saying to actually be that, like, they just do a weird sort of 18th century apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every kid goes, and apprentices to a shipwright.
Or a blacksmith.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Loving County is the smallest county in the country. I believe maybe that one in Hawaii might be smaller. I'm not sure. But Loving County in Texas has 64 people. They're estimated to have 48 right now, actually, the most current estimate. And I believe at one point, like half of the county government was arrested, and one of the things had issues with cattle rustling. I love it. I absolutely love this. Brigit, how are you?
Well, and now I'm just filled with questions. That's how I am. Guys, my house is so quiet because my kids are gone for the week. They're with the grandparents. I have my own schedule. I don't have to get up and make lunches or snacks. I can do whatever the fuck I want for the next 5 days.
Are you going to eat something really stupid?
Oh, naturally. That's all we're going to eat all week.
All right. Love it.
Beth, how are you?
I am basketball sad, but otherwise fine.
Commish?
I'm good. I rolled my ankle today. I had an unexpected cardio workout. I went to the backyard and I was going to clean off the kids' water table to let them go play out in the water table. And I dumped all of the toys off. And as soon as I turned the water table over, there was a hornet's nest.
Oh, shit.
And for a 44-year-old man, I could move. I took off. I probably sprinted, I'd say maybe a quick 10 to 15 yards. So, that question, if you could get a first down, if you got good blocking, I was like, I feel a little bit more confident there. As soon as the adrenaline wore off, I think I rolled my ankle on something that was out there, and I have no idea what it was. And I escaped. No hornets stung me, and none followed me in the house. So I, only with like a little bit of an injured ankle, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm glad the kids didn't follow me out there either.
I was gonna say, you took that one for the team. That's good dadding right there.
Yeah.
The judge that was arrested out in Loving County, his name is Skeet Jones.
Skeet. We got a name in this podcast that is going to rival Skeet coming up later on.
Good to know. Well, folks, I think we got to start with the big announcement. LSU, come on down.
That's right.
You have won the College World Series.
Go Tigers.
This thing was weird.
Yeah, this was probably one of the most Sickos College World Series finals that I could think of.
Even just today alone.
Just today alone. Like yesterday was weird stat-wise. Like Saturday was really weird stat-wise. There was something, so like LSU won the first game 1-0. They scored in the top of the first, and then nobody scored for the rest of the game. So it's 1-0. Like LSU, the last time LSU won a game 1-0 by scoring in the first was March 25th, 1978 versus Auburn, and that was a 7-inning game. The last such 9-inning win was April 23rd, 1966 versus Florida State. So that was an historic win by itself. Then the madness kind of occurred today, of course, in the first inning again. Oh, man. So Coastal takes a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. You're like, okay, here we go. They get a run on the board, and then the bottom of the first. I'm sorry, Coastal was actually the home team this game. So the bottom of the first, the Coastal coach apparently gets a warning. He doesn't hear the warning. That's what he says after the press conference. And then he says, like, okay, well, you missed like 3 calls earlier, and then immediately ejected. Because you can't argue balls and strikes in the NCAA according to the rule book. So immediately ejected. He goes out to discuss this. Another ump was coming there to try to break them up, tripped over another ump, and that ump took a tumble, which was quite hilarious. I don't know if you've seen this tumble.
It was sort of, it's hard to even describe. He was like backpedaling and then just fell on his ass.
It's somewhere.
He tripped over the left leg of another ump and got up. And the other ump who kind of moved him out of the way as well.
Yeah,
it was who he tripped over had spatial awareness. The ump who fell did not.
Yeah, there was some ump tripping, and it was a lot of it was a little bit of a tumble. People were trying to say he went head over heels, which I mean, kind of, but then he got up. Then the Coastal coach got tossed. Apparently, the Coastal first base coach got tossed. Also, apparently the AD of Coastal was tossed.
Okay.
And then, so the coach for the rest of the game for Coastal was the recruiting coordinator. So Coastal in the game 2 of the College World Series was down to the recruiting coordinator. Now, people are going to say this was the quick toss for a College World Series game. I agree. But if this umpire is going by the rule book, it feels like the cop that nails you going for 36 and a 35.
Yeah.
It feels awful. Like you're in a school zone and it's like you go 21 and out of 20, which I mean, like, okay, school zone, you got to take it careful there. But yeah, this is kind of one of those where it's like, it was extremely harsh given the situation to do that. I don't necessarily know if it changed the game or not, but it felt like it did. Then
it couldn't have helped.
it didn't help. Your recruiting coordinator, I'm sure he's really good at giving you signs down the line to your first base. Oh wait, no, he got tossed. Also, your third base coach. So I don't necessarily know. Like I remember I played on teams in high school where we didn't even have a first base coach.
Yeah.
So like the guy who batted last became the first base coach. It's like you're the furthest from batting. Now you're the first base coach for that inning. So I don't know if that's what Coastal did. It felt wrong. And then, the juxtaposition of like the giant SEC school versus the little tiny G5 Sunbelt school in the final. It, like you're going to do that to the tiny school. It felt really unnecessary and mean. That being said, I'm gonna make a declaration. That being said, I had to pull for the home state. So I had to pull for LSU to win this one, even though, I'm the commish. I'm supposed to be, David versus Goliath, but I'm from Louisiana. I'm sorry. It's in my blood.
That's fine. What school has won the most college baseball D1 World Series?
So LSU's up to 8 after this one.
They're number 2. That's number 2.
Yeah. It feels like it's a West Coast school. It does feel like UCLA, but I'm not 100% sure there.
Go Crosstown.
USC. Okay.
USC's won 12, but they haven't won one since 98. UCLA only has one title.
Okay. All right. I knew it was out west, but I got the wrong school.
So congratulations. That finishes up our spring NCAA season. We just posted today all of our spring champions. I do want to say a couple of interesting things about this. Texas runs softball. University of Texas wins D1 softball. UT Tyler wins D2 softball. Trine University wins D3 softball. That's fine. Whatever. It's okay.
Did they try?
They tried.
Was that the key? They tried really hard?
They were trying.
We also have the Tufts Jumbos winning D3 men's lacrosse and D3 rowing. Nice. Reminder that the Tufts Jumbos are named after an old stuffed elephant. And Perfect. that elephant burned down, and they keep the ashes of that burned down elephant in I think it's a Jif or Skippy jar of peanut butter.
I believe it's pronounced GIF.
I hate you so much, Beth. Stop that.
I'm not sorry.
So
wait, is it crunchy or creamy?
I mean, it's ashes, so probably pretty crunchy.
No.
So now that the year is over.
Oh, hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Final Jello shot total we got posted 2 minutes ago. Coastal finished with 9,117. Arizona 1876. Louisville 2089. UCLA dead last 1655. Arkansas in third, so Coastal does defeat Arkansas. 9,075. That was close. Oregon State 2,131. Murray State, our beloved Racers, 8,340. And LSU 52,390.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 390. Yeah, that's right.
52,000?
52,000.
That's so many.
That was less than their record in 2023. I didn't think they have anybody pushing them this year. Nobody else besides them broke 5 digits. Their record in 2023 was 6,888. So 68,888. So yeah, they are the repeat champions. This continues the streak of whoever buys the most Jello shots wins the national title at Rocco's. This is now like a 6-year streak now, and it's all SEC teams that have won.
What was the first time this really blew up? Do you remember?
So I think like the original record, I think it was like Mississippi State, and then Ole Miss had to one up Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And then it kind of took off from there. I think maybe it was 2018 because 2020 was skipped, I believe. And yeah, I think that's what it was.
It's wild that this has become a part of the lore of the College World Series.
Channel 6 did a great article on this. Like, I mean, it's not a paid advertisement, but like Spencer Hall, Holly Anderson, who we're big fans of, and that's kind of how we were formed here. But yeah, they wrote an article about like how this Jello shot thing took off like this, and they spoke with the men that put it together. So it's a really good read if you have a Channel 6 subscription.
So it's approximately 104,780 fluid ounces, or 818 gallons of Jello shots.
Much. That's so much. Do you think? Because now they use the little like Jello shot machine thing. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, they had to adapt, and Murfreesboro had to adapt and come along and save them.
Murfreesboro.
Yes, the Jello shot machine makers.
But I feel like it's not a real Jello shot unless you drink it from a spoon from like a big tub of Jello that someone serves you from.
What?
No, I feel like I've never seen that. Everywhere I've seen Jello shots, they've been like pre-made in little plastic, like the little plastic things. Disposable things. Yeah.
Yes, that's always how Jello shots have been done.
In my mind, it's like a big tub, and you just like spoon it out to people.
Wait,
like,
Jordan, remind the listeners where you went to school.
This was in college. This was later on. This was North Texas.
So you're saying you've seen this actually in person?
Say it again.
So you've seen this in person, like just a big ass tub of Jello? Damn.
So here's my question for you. When you were a little kid and you needed to take cough medicine, and your mom like spoons out a tablespoon of Dimetap, because that's how old we are, did you think you were doing shots?
Now I do.
Technically are.
That shit'll fuck you up.
I mean, we're all sort of old enough that we came up at the time when you still sort of had codeine in cough syrup.
That is true. My
Ain't
favorite
no
thing
sort of about it.
I
mean, edge case.
Jordan has said this before, so I remember this when he said this. But my Jello shot career began by going inside a Wendy's and taking those little ketchup cups you had.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then it just like walking out with some like on your sleeve or whatever. And then that's what you would use to fill the cups. And then you could peel them open and eat the Jello shots that way.
Yep.
Now my brain is trying to suggest ketchup Jello as an idea, and I'm unhappy.
Brain. Bad.
Put enough gelatin in anything and it'll solidify.
Absolutely not.
Heinz ketchup Jello.
Scientists were so concerned with whether they could.
Obviously, Heinz ketchup. You think I'm making that shit with Hunt's?
No. Heinz ketchup Jello shots.
Beth has standards.
What liquor would go good with ketchup? I mean, vodka? Is it like a Bloody Mary Jello shot?
Yeah, it's got to be vodka. It's lowest common denominator.
Put some hot sauce
that's
in
a
there.
horrifying rum drink. Nope.
Salt and pepper.
A layered Jello shot. Ketchup, mustard, relish.
The saddest.
Okay, well, if I didn't feel sick already, I sure do now.
What if the alcohol in there is Malort?
I mean,
still taste.
Does that make it better or worse? At this point, I don't know.
Foreign correspondent, we have an assignment for you.
Oh God.
Malort Jello shots. Okay.
Did I see that he had a rough time with Takis this evening?
Yeah, he was not a fan of Takis.
Really?
I mean, I get it. Yeah, he wasn't feeling the Takis. He got the Takis meal at Wendy's, which like the meal is fine, but he was like the fries were fine, but I wasn't feeling the actual like the Takis chips.
There's a Takis meal at Wendy's.
There's a Takis meal at Wendy's, so it's like fry dust on the fries, and then you add Takis to it, and it's a spicy chicken sandwich with Takis on it, with like spicy cheddar sauce and like lime, whatever. It's fine.
If they've made it to Wendy's, I think I might be out on Takis too.
I have
You
found...
liked Poggies before they were cool?
Yeah.
I found a THC spiked Malort flavored shot.
Of course you have.
It's called the Chicago High Five.
Wait, so this doesn't have alcohol?
No, let's see here.
Because a shot that gets you crossfaded would be wild.
Especially on Malort. Like, you are in for a night there, buddy.
No, apparently
is Malort drunk particularly bad, or does it just taste bad?
It just tastes bad.
Yeah.
Well, no, it is making you want to fight, though. It's like Jägermeister, makes you want to fight. There is no alcohol in this.
I have not had Malort. Is like day after mouth very unpleasant for Malort? Because actual drinking it is unpleasant.
The moment after mouth is the worst.
Okay.
It really makes your mouth dry up in weird ways. It's hard to describe.
Like you're drinking a desiccant pact.
Yeah, I've always just wanted to chase it with something to get it out of there. Yeah. So I didn't talk about this on the podcast because I want to say our recording time on Father's Day overlapped with a NASCAR race, so I wasn't like paying attention and talking.
No, that's correct.
At the beginning of the episode. Yeah. But for Father's Day, right, I gave my dad a bottle of Malort. He hadn't heard of it before. He called it Mallert. And then he started Googling, trying to figure out, like, damn, what do you even make with this? Like, he was trying to look up, like, Malort cocktail recipes because, that's how he drinks his liquor, right? Yeah. And so he made me, he made us all do a taste test between, it was Fernet, Malort, and there was one other. I forget what the other one was. Like, as soon as he this is supposed to be really bad, he's like, okay, what's the worst stuff we have in the house? We got to do a taste test.
What was the winner?
So Fernet was like the worst as you're drinking it, and Malort was the worst after you've drunk it.
Okay, I buy that.
Checks out.
Arthur, you went to the Portland Pickles. How was that?
Yeah, you can hear the birds in the background for Arthur. Or I'm just going crazy.
We love the atmosphere. No, okay. There's birds.
All right,
I am outside. I'm just hoping you don't hear like Max. But I went to the Portland Pickles. I got this bat that you can put liquids in. Obviously, when I got it at the game, it was full of beer. I drank the beer. I did my best to kind of wash it out so it didn't smell like beer or taste like beer. And now I'm hydrated. I'm drinking water out of my baseball bat. So
I found mine from the Missoula game here last year, and I just wanted to cheers you.
Somebody said that we needed to make those and tiny baseball bats with our new baseball Sicko character.
Guys, listen, it's hot out there. A lot of the country is going through a heat dome right now. Make sure that you drink at least one bat of water for every bat of alcohol. Just stay safe.
Alternate.
According to the where they were selling these hold 22 ounces. So, that's a solid amount of liquid to drink. But yeah, I mean, I had never been to any sort. So I'd been to Pittsburgh Pirates games, right, which is MLB,
right,
and I've been to Pitt baseball games, which is college, right, and neither of them had anywhere near the atmosphere that I saw on Thursday night, right? Because it's like the stadium itself is very small, right? Like there are basically like bleachers that go out to maybe like the third base and like first base, like it's not like they have like a big stadium. So it's probably smaller than a lot of even minor league ballparks. But they had the whole outfield is just like picnic tables. So you can buy like a picnic table and it comes with, I don't know how many tickets, maybe like 4 or 6. I'm not sure because I wasn't sitting back there, but like they have various sections. So like if you want to, you have a crew, you want to like pull up at a picnic table, like you can buy a picnic table for the game. They also have once you get past like the into the outfield in foul territory, they just have like I think they call them like berms in like left field and right field and foul territory. So like there's just people there with like blankets and lawn chairs and things like that. Um, every time the Pickles score a run, everyone in the stadium with a chair or a stool like lifts it up and like, you know, has it over their head upside down and like kind of shakes it up and down, which like is just wild to me, right? Because I feel like every other baseball game I've been to, just someone having a chair outside of like the press box or a suite or something would be like considered unsafe, right? Like
I'm just imagining like the sand people from Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it's like those vibes. Like that's what everybody looks like when they score. And the thing that really stuck out to me was just like the sound effects, if that makes sense. Like it was like someone had a soundboard that they were really working, right? I'm used to at a baseball game, like you'll hear some sort of sound effect if there's like a strikeout maybe or like a run. Like it's not like MLB games are devoid of sound, but like man, they were playing sounds like in between pitches, right? Like there would be like just pitch one strike and there'd be like some noise, and it wouldn't be like, I feel like a baseball team that takes itself more seriously, it would be like some sort of noise that makes sense, right? Like a cha-ching or something, man. And it would just be like there would be like one pitch and then there'd just be like a Chewbacca noise or something. They had like a number of areas where they kind of like cracked me up, right? So like when they did the national anthem, well, first because it was Juneteenth, they did Lift Every Voice and Sing, but then for the national anthem, they played the recording of Whitney Houston at the Super Bowl.
Oh,
like they announced they announced it. They're like and now the the national anthem, like, and now here's a recording of the national anthem performed by Whitney Houston, and they just like they played the audio from that. Like it was just a lot of stuff, and also like they had like the announcers over the PA system were having fun with it. Like at one point they had a lost pair of keys for like someone's car, and they like kept making announcements, you know, like throughout the inning, and they were joking about like, oh, we might be giving away a car later on, so stick around, like that sort of thing. Like all these sort of things where, you know, you go to a game that like a baseball team that takes themselves a little more seriously, and you know, you're not going to have anything like that. So
what about the person that threw the first pitch?
Well, I didn't see him. So, you know,
I mean, John Cena threw out the first pitch.
Yeah, he did. I didn't see him.
He didn't see him. He threw out a great pitch. I put it in the thing. John Cena threw out the first pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was. But it was Portland Wrestling Night. That was the theme. So like every single night has some sort of theme. I just happened to go on Portland Wrestling Night because of all of the nights that I'm here, that was the one with the best weather. And so they had a bunch of stuff in game that kind of tied into that, right? So like they had their mascot Dylan doing like some wrestling gimmicks and, you know, wrestling moves, that sort of thing. But then they also had a local wrestling company, I believe they're called DOA Wrestling, based here in Portland, and they put on a wrestling show behind like left field and foul territory while the game was going on. Like they had a bunch of different matches kind of scheduled throughout the night, right? So I probably only watched like 4 innings of baseball, even though I was in the stadium the entire time. Gotcha. Because I was just also checking out the wrestling. And like when the match would end, they'd say like, okay, like the next match is after like the 6th inning or something like that. There was a little league there, right? Like it was like their night to all be at the ballpark, right? They were all there. And these kids were so into the wrestling, man. Like they were heckling people. It was honestly like it was impressive how coordinated they were. I guess like maybe they all play on the same team or something that helps, but they were able to get really coordinated and just go in on some wrestlers. I mean, like
Did any little kids cut any promos? Please say yes.
No, I mean, it wasn't because they weren't doing anything individually. Like it was all collective. Like they'd all just be starting all these different chants and chanting for certain wrestlers, chanting against other wrestlers, that sort of thing. Like it was, but it was like they all seemed to be having a great time, and it was just really funny to see, because all these wrestlers are, adults, and like some of them were kind of like bouncing stuff back against the kids, like trying to heckle the kids back. Like it was a good time. And then after the game, they had like the main event. I think it started after the 8th inning. So they still had a half inning where the main event was going on while the baseball game was still going on. But like some of the Pickles players, I wasn't paying attention to like which is which. Obviously I'm not going to recognize anybody, but like they came over while the game was still going on to watch the wrestling. And I like one of them, when they noticed there were like 2 outs in the top of the 9th, it was like, oh, like, we got to go back to celebrate. And they won. And then like all the players came back and watched the rest of the wrestling match. So it was a lot of fun. Just like I'm used to not having a good time at baseball games, like it's just
you go to Pirates games. Yes. Understandable.
Yeah. And like, even beyond the on-field product, like I just kind of get bored, especially because like, even with the pace of play being sped up, it's just like, there's not enough happening in a lot of baseball games to keep me. And I just really appreciated that they had a lot happening in this game, and a lot of it wasn't baseball, but they had a lot happening.
I was also for ADHD.
Yeah, I was impressed by their merch. Like it was expensive, but they had a ton of stuff. Like you could buy a Portland Pickles like bomber jacket. Like they had like every kind of merch you could think of. They had they had a concession menu item of the night, which was a cotton candy burrito.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that.
It looked to be, I can't eat that. Like that, I would probably die if I ate that or something. But it was like a cotton candy shell full of like other sweet things. They said it was they only had 15. Like there was a limit of 15 for the night. So they only made 15 of these things.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where it is. Hold on. I got a picture of it.
They're really big about saying they're not minor league baseball. This is a college summer wooden bat league.
Yes. No, everyone always says things about minor league stuff, and it is not minor league. It's different. It's its own thing.
The cotton candy burrito looks like something from Elf. It is full of like M&Ms and cereal and
like they got creative. It wasn't just like, oh, we'll just throw some candy in here. Like they came up with every sweet thing they could and threw it in there.
Only 15 available. Contains gluten. No shit.
Everybody was saying that Arthur couldn't eat it because it had gluten in it. I was like, no, probably the rest of the stuff.
No, it's just that I like that amount of sugar is not. I just don't think I could handle that amount of sugar.
Listen, if you don't stress test your pancreas every now and again, can you really have been said to have lived?
How do you know it's working?
Right.
I mean, maybe you got to give it a workout so it gets stronger, right? I mean, that's what you got to do to your body.
True.
This is muscle confusion, but for the islets of Langerhans.
What's muscle confusion for your pancreas?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Gritty, our man Gritty. He has learned to throw axes or something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull this up here so we
can. I've watched this video probably at least 50 or 60 times.
I got this TikTok. It just kept scrolling back to it. I saved
this on my phone.
Good.
0 feet, got it. 15 feet, got it.
Nothing.
Double
Two-handed 15 feet. 30 feet backwards. 60 feet like it's nothing. Shaking his ass like you do. 95 feet, dusting it off. 125 feet, chuck that thing.
I don't need mascots that can do this, y'all.
I do. I don't know about you. Skill issue.
I mean, I can't hit, like, I'm bad from 30, so I'm not, it is a skill issue for me.
I'm bad at anything. This is why I don't do this. This is why, like, my buddies who from MSU do this as, like, a hobby / professionally.
I rated all of Gritty's throws for this, which was kind of fun for me. Because it was kind of like exciting and haunting, yet like skillful. So like 0 feet, it's just him doing it. It was haunting. 15 feet was absolutely terrifying because it was like a murder throw from like that close, from like point blank range. And then Gritty did a double murder throw from that same range. 30 feet was behind the back. It was nothing too crazy, but it was incredibly impressive that he hit the target. The 60 feet felt like a solid throw, kind of like light work. 95 foot, I put Gritty just took out somebody who was riding a horse in the movie with that axe throw.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then the 125 feet one, I just asked, does Gritty have any eligibility left? Absolute cannon.
Was it Joe Milton that threw the ball over the house?
The dude that threw the ball over the house and ran through the house and caught it?
No, was that Joe Milton? No.
Oh, Joe Milton would just throw it. Yeah, he had a cannon, yes.
So here's what I'm thinking, though. Seeing an NHL mascot with this kind of axe skills, Jean-Claude Van Damme, you're on notice.
Arthur, I thought of you immediately when I saw this. And I was very excited to talk to you about this because I have an idea now for a Kung Fu Hustle reboot where the Axe Gang is all Gritties.
Beth, I'm listening.
I'd watch it.
Oh my God.
You have my attention.
I am in. Like,
what would be the best movie where there's some sort of like uniformly masked group that you could make all Gritties?
The Matrix.
Kill Bill. The House of Blue Leaves, Crazy 88. Yeah.
Agent Gritty, let's go.
Okay, what if the one movie with like the Guy Fawkes masks, but now like every online edgelord has to be like Gritty?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. V for Vendetta, yeah.
Would the Purge with Gritty work?
I mean, that's just the Purge.
Okay, yeah. That's just, yeah, all right. Instead of the weird mess.
You've described the Mummers Parade.
Okay.
I like how the Purge started as just like a horror movie, and then the series slowly became about like capitalism.
Yeah.
I watched one of the like fourth or fifth ones, and I was like, wow, this is not what I remember at all.
The Purge, a nuanced cultural critique.
It kind of turned into that.
The Purge, you're still not getting it somehow.
The Purge, we're going to make it even more explicit. Fine. So Ross Dellinger has told us in the world of college football that there is a landmark moment in college sports. The University of Wisconsin has filed a lawsuit against Miami for tampering and eventually poaching a college football player under contract, Xavier Lucas. That is, God, we have hit a brave new world. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
So there's a couple of comments on this thing because it's like, okay, this is a serious issue here. But does this court case wind up accidentally trying to confirm that athletes are actually employees? Like,
right.
So a bunch of the law folks are just like, hey, how are they going to argue? And this was not in the period, and the contract didn't take effect until this date. And then it's just like, well, is actually this person an employee of the school? And I don't know if somebody's going to make this argument. I don't know if this case is going to go further or something like that, or this is going to be some sort of weird transfer fee that happens that Miami makes this go away, or it feels like there could be something out of this weird transfer because of legal action. Like, the NCAA is not doing anything here.
Yeah.
But like they're going to set some sort of law precedent on accident. And
no,
then
100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to have to be like, what are the mental gymnastics that they have to go through to define what his status is?
Yeah.
To define how they tampered with him.
There's going to be a lot of things where, why did we go down this path? I think. And then it turns out like
because no one wanted to do anything about it. They were hoping to get bailed out.
It was always going to lead here because everyone's just sort of gone not quite the path of least resistance, but inertia, and again, no one wanting to do anything, to take any stance to say definitively that these players are employees and they're afforded the protection that employees get under the law.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna be. So we're gonna be at.
I just love that this is gonna happen over like a transfer, or because there was a contract signed or something. I mean, there's gonna be again, the lawyers are gonna be undefeated again. Billable hours. Yep.
We need to talk about Sacramento State. Again. Yeah. Sacramento State has
they made a Sacramento statement.
There it is.
They have decided, they have turned in their resignation to the Big Sky. They did not get a waiver to become FBS without a conference.
Well, they haven't got it yet. They haven't been recommended to get that. Mm-hmm. So the D1 Council has not ruled, but somebody else said that they didn't recommend them for it.
This is basically turning into, okay, so they have one more year in the Big Sky, and then they will probably be FCS independent in football and in the Big West for all other sports. Are there any other current FCS independents?
Technically, yes.
Who is it?
It is Sacred Heart and Merrimack. I know they're trying to put together the Yankee Conference back together, and they played for the Yankee Conference title, kind of like the play for the Pac-2 title. It's not an official recognized conference. They are technically independent, but they're trying to put together the Yankee Conference back together. So they are the only other independents that I'm aware of, along with now Sacramento State in 2026, if they don't get the waiver to go to FBS.
I just don't see it happening. Without.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
No, I don't see them getting the invite.
Like getting into FBS. Yes, no, they're gonna be independent. That is pretty much assured.
Maybe this is how the WAC gets saved. No,
the WAC. No. Sacramento State is not enough teams to save the WAC, and they are too ambitious, probably, to be willing to join the WAC unless there's some sort of regime change there in the athletic department. Which, who knows? Maybe this blows up real bad.
I will say that Sacramento State did themselves no favors by basically torching the bridge behind them and calling FCS basically JV ball.
In the statement, they clarify, like they had to put a paragraph. They had to add it was like, we have done everything right. We hired, our desire to become FBS program is in no way a put down to FCS. We have faced incredibly tough competition for years. And many of the schools we have faced, it could compete at the FBS level.
I'm glad they want to do this. Like, more power to them, absolutely.
The thing that gets me here is the payout for a bye game as an FBS school is exponentially greater as the payout for a bye game as an FCS school.
Yes.
So it seems like that's what they're after, because right here it just says, this effort is more about being able to compete against the larger programs that will bring more eyeballs and economic opportunity to our university. So if ULM is getting 1.8 million to get clobbered by Texas A&M in Kyle Field, but like Sacramento State could only get like 400 grand because they're FCS, does Sacramento State just feel like, hey man, we want that 1.4 million too? Like that extra?
But that comes with a lot of extra costs as well. Being an FBS, the costs are much higher.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I keep coming back to with Sacramento State is that they don't really, I mean, I'm not trying to talk down on them or anything, but like they don't really have a strong tradition of winning. Like we've seen teams move up to FBS that don't really have that strong a tradition of winning, but like that's when it takes something else, like they're just filling a conference, right? But the teams that we've seen move up and have success at the FBS level, right? Teams most recently like James Madison, but like you look back at like App State,
so that's
even like the teams
year.
that have been all right, like I mean Georgia Southern hasn't been great, but like there are a lot of these teams that move up have actually won, and there are teams that haven't, but I feel like in order to say that, hey, we should really have a case, like you should have to be winning football games. And maybe that's something that could happen with all of this new investment that Sac State is touting, but results are something that I don't know. Do they not mean anything here?
So this is kind of happening right now. You said talking about filling in a conference. This is Conference USA. So you have somebody with a storied program history of winning in Delaware. And then you have another one to fill in.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to mention Missouri State.
Yeah, I don't want to talk down to Missouri State, but they were in the Missouri Valley Conference. It's kind of impossible to compete with the Dakotas, all of them in that conference. So maybe it maybe a little bit easier in Conference USA. I don't know. But
no, I mean, it's the same with the Big Sky. Like, look at the schools that perennially win the Big Sky and look where Sac State tends to end up. Like, I completely get why they would want to get out of the Big Sky. But again, I'm also with Arthur. Like, where are the results? Like, where do you, and I said this last week too, like, where do you think the success is going to come from when you move up, when you have been middling in the conference? And again, I'm not trying to talk down to them. I'm talking like, this is where they've been as far as football goes. Like, they can be a tough school to play, but it's also like when schools like Montana will tend to play down to their opponent.
There was, I mean, Sac State had a good recent run. Last year was not great.
Yeah.
But like it had a good recent run of like 3 or 4 years of like, I mean, like 1 year, I think they went 12-0 and then they lost to like Incarnate Word in a wild, incredible game that was like 65-63 or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they've been a doormat. It's just they're not winning at the level that we've seen for teams that move up kind of based on how much they win.
Right. And it's not consistent.
I think like when you look at not just Sac State and not just FCS to FBS, but football overall on the West Coast, they like teams on the West Coast absolutely have fewer opportunities due to their geography, right? I mean, look at how much Boise State has won. Look at the brand that Boise State has built. And, they weren't the ones that got called up in this last round of realignment, right? I mean, they ended up, some other schools ended up in power, what is now considered a power conference, right? When the Big 12 expanded, and they didn't. I mean, I think that's a lot of the formation of this new Pac-12 that, the Mountain West schools leaving. I think they're kind of thinking along the same lines of Sacramento State in that, like, honestly, if they were not located if they were located further east, then they probably would have gotten calls. And because they're located where they're located, they didn't. And they're upset about that. They feel like they've earned the right to, be at a higher level. And I totally understand that. I just don't like geography is geography. I know we have like freaking Cal and Stanford in the ACC, but like geography is still geography,
Well, the thing with Boise State for me is, and this will be the last that I'll say on it so we can move on. Look how long it's taken for Boise State to get any kind of respect and recognition. Like, if you were a ball knower in the mid 2000s, you remember the way people were screaming at coaches and for the BCS to rank Boise State and give them a bowl game. And the discourse around Boise State getting that Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma, which was a banger and is available on YouTube, which you should go watch it if you've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We recently watched it in the Discord, joined the Discord. But there was so much to do about this upstart little school from a conference that ain't played nobody, for them to be playing Oklahoma, to be David versus Goliath. And still plenty of people did not believe that they deserved to be there because of where they are and who they played. And it's taken another like 15, 20 years for them to get this kind of respect, to get into more of a power conference.
Like Bridget said, you should join our Discord for $5 a month, get access to our Discord, be able to come chat with us during the week, work on projects with us, and just shoot the shit. It's a fun place to be. We also have our merch store at sickoscommittee.org. We have all our brand new characters: baseball, soccer, auto sports, and what am I missing?
Hockey.
We have a bunch of new merch there. Check that out. Get ready for the season, or for the season just passed. Check out our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitch. Shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go the places we refuse to go. And as always, for the softest, comfiest collegiate apparel, home field apparel, use offer code yes, ha ha ha, yes, 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. Also, our Beehive, BEEHIIV, our newsletter. Join us there as well, where we do long form things. Okay.
Well, we got something coming up for that thing.
What do you have?
The first round of the college football FA Cup.
With all 700 whatever teams?
504 teams. 252 teams survive. I will spoil one of it for you. The Teal Tomcats have advanced from round 1 based on our random score generator that could give you points from 80 to 2 points. So the scores are going to be quite
no shutouts
out there.
No shutouts.
No shutouts. We didn't do any shutouts. Everybody gets points. We didn't do any shutouts.
The bracket was hard enough to finish.
The bracket was hard enough, and Kevin was just like, I'm just going to set the random score generator for 80 to 2. We had a couple of ties that we had to break. And so my 8-year-old broke the tie. So if you're upset about the tie, if it's like a 1-point game, that could have been one of those. That my 8-year-old had to break the tie. But there is 504 games, 252 bracketed matchups, graphic-wise, in this post that comes out on Monday. And if you're Tuesday, read it, because the next thing is going to be another round of 256, and then we're going to work our way all the way to the college football hypothetical FA Cup champion.
Will Teal have more wins this season or in the FA Cup? Tune in to find out.
Yes.
They won 2 this year? 3?
3.
Next round.
The way there.
Let's see if they keep going. I don't know. I love the highest seeded team that you could be was 764. So Teal was 730.
Okay.
But they had a matchup against 745. So they were technically the favorite then.
So you're telling me that Teal won more games last year than Florida State?
That is correct.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Where can I bet on Teal football, Beth? I feel like this is what I need to start doing. Betting on D3.
As soon as you bet on Teal football, they come take you away.
I was going to say, they literally come to your house and stage a wellness check, and
they're just like an
intervention.
They're just like, hey, we heard you called the gambling hotline. You wanted to bet on Teal?
I just wanted to bet on Teal, but yeah, that's how we know.
That's how we know. You got a problem.
A president athletics conference bookie. I love this.
Oh my God.
Absolute. No, Jordan.
that job for years would have been super easy. Just call W&J all day. But now with St. Francis moving into the conference, ooh,
I know lots of good money moving around. Oh, people betting over under. I mean, people bet on weird shit, man.
Yeah, like teal football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have never bet on teal football, and I was
no one should
teal
bet.
while teal was making the playoffs.
The folks over at Capology that does a lot of soccer stuff, they have come up with the annual payroll estimated for the teams in the FIFA Club World Cup. And some of these disparities are absolutely hilarious, I have to admit. Paris Saint-Germain with a player payroll of 197 million euro, Bayern Munich 274 million euro, and Auckland FC less than $1 million. I was surprised to see Porto only 27 million. Like, that's less than I would have guessed. I would have guessed only 114 for Dortmund. That's not as much as I thought. The one that really shocks me, and it shouldn't, is Al Hilal. Al Hilal with a payroll of 256 million, almost the same as fucking Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Now, is Al Hilal the one owned by the Saudi sports, the Saudi private wealth fund? Yeah, it's the private investment fund. Yes. Yes. Okay. I was just making sure that was them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even win their league last year.
No, they didn't.
What the fuck?
They got that neon money.
I can't pronounce it neon. I just keep fucking going neon, like it's an F1 car passing by my head.
Yeah, because that's what the train is going to sound like when it goes down the line.
I want to give credit to Arthur for this one. He found out that the FIFA Club World Cup actually has a theme song.
It does?
And guess
you know how I found out about this? No, do you know how I found out about this?
Oh, how'd you find out?
Because I get notified whenever this artist makes music.
Arthur.
Music is a strong word for what he does, Arthur.
I don't know. Is this the most sacrilegious sample he's done?
This is pretty rough.
Here,
I think this might be worse than the one he did for the Aquaman movie.
Let's play a little of this right here.
This is like
we can't play this. We can't do this.
Wait until they get to the chorus here. Well, you gotta do that.
We can't do this.
We can talk over it like we did last time.
That's what we're gonna talk over.
No, let's not do this. Like, actual music that's released by artists is too far.
This is Pitbull featuring Red One. I have no clue who Red One is.
Red One is from Morocco.
He's a producer. He's worked with Lady Gaga. There was a time when he worked with a group that I liked in Japan, and it was like a big deal because he'd work with Gaga, and everyone was wigging out.
Yes. It is a remix of We Will Rock You by Queen.
Remix is being kind.
It is not good.
I just want to I think a better way to digest Pitbull songs is not necessarily listen to them, because that involves various like rights issues that I don't really want to get into.
Yeah.
So I just want to read you Pitbull's verse, just the lyrics.
Yes.
Okay. Dramatic reading. Let's go.
Yes. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. It's survival of the fittest. We gon' fight till the end.
Mm-hmm.
Try me, roll the dice. Blood cold as ice.
Mm-hmm.
Lionheart underdog. Whole life learn to fight.
Some chat
we gon' get it by all means necessary. I'm with it. They with it. Let's get it this year legendary. Yeah, they good, but we great. We don't fold, we don't break. I'm on time all the time. World is mine. Y'all like move. If y'all ain't ready for the fight, then move. If y'all ain't ready for the battle, then move. If y'all ain't ready for the win, then move. Because we already told y'all that. And then it goes into the chorus. So
Yes.
I not only discovered this song, this led me down a rabbit hole to looking up other songs that FIFA has done. I always was aware of FIFA doing songs because they've had some legitimate hits. Probably the most notable one was the one that Shakira did, I think, in 2010 for the World Cup.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But,
Waka Waka. But I still like Waving Flag better anyway.
And Pitbull has actually done like a regular World Cup song. I think he did the Brazil World Cup.
2014, yes.
2014, yes. He
PR1,
performed
Olé, yes.
with J-Lo, I think, and
yes.
Was Shakira involved again?
I don't think so. I think that was Pitbull, J-Lo, and there was a Brazilian artist as well, who I'm blanking on the name of. But the important thing is that I've learned just through like going down the rabbit hole, because this song on Spotify is credited, in addition to Pitbull and Red One, it's credited to an artist called FIFA Sound. So FIFA has like an artist page on Spotify where they put all of these songs that they make for tournaments. They have some that are just instrumentals that just sound like, you know, generic, what's the way to phrase this? Like kind of like global music.
Okay.
Instrumentals that they use for like tournaments that I think are not worthy of having a song with like name brand artists and lyrics. But then like every song that they like, I don't want to say every song, but a lot of songs that they do, if the lyrics are in English, which means I can understand them, like it really does sound like you just asked an AI generator to make a song about the virtues of like teamwork and sportsmanship and, you know, playing hard.
Mm-hmm.
There's some incredible stuff that I really hope gets exposure next year when the actual World Cup is happening. For the World Cup next year, they have made versions of their like instrumental theme song for every single host city. So like
I'm looking this up right now.
There's a Mexico City mix, there's a New York City mix, like there's a Toronto mix, like
there's a Kansas
host
City theme.
So okay, I want to talk about the Kansas City theme, because almost all of these are collaborations with like DJs or producers that are connected to the location, right? Like DJ Jazzy Jeff did the Philly theme with them, but for the Kansas City theme, they got Tech9. It's the only one with lyrics. Like every other one, it's just like instrumentals and maybe like some shouting, right? Like the Atlanta one, they shout ATL on the song, but there's not like actual lyrics. The Kansas City one is just Tech9 rapping.
Nice.
Every other one is instrumental. But
I'm
really hoping these get a lot of play on the broadcasts.
Can I give you another 2 lines of lyrics from the Pitbull song?
Please.
Yes.
Keep my eyes on the goal like it's FIFA. Big achiever, big believer.
Okay. You cannot rhyme FIFA with achiever and believer.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so it continues.
You can if you
so when
don't
you hear this
pronounce it
at your speakers, no, we only gonna turn it up a notch, singing, and then it goes into the chorus.
We will rock you, yes.
This is
Oh
God. The rhyme scheme here is what I have the most trouble with. And I know that there's a lot more problematic things. The fact that they're sampling Queen is one of them. But sure, fine.
You know, I liked the Nature Store as much as anybody in the early to mid 90s. But I really didn't need a Pure Moods FIFA 37.
We need bowl games to have theme songs.
We have Rhule Bowl.
We have Rhule Bowl, yeah.
We do have the Gasparilla Bowl.
We need that for more.
We need like the Mayo Bowl.
The Bahamas Bowl could be
Mayo Mix.
Yeah,
the Mayo Mix. That's right.
Featuring Tubby.
That's right.
And Flava Flav. We already have an artist.
You already have Flava Flav. You got to make a rap, Flava Flav. Let's do it. The Mayo Bowl rap. Keep my eyes on Tubby like it's mayo. I don't know. It's not going to work out. Yes.
Commish, can we talk about some CFL?
Hell yeah. The CFL was fucking on fire this weekend. I absolutely loved it. Me picking the Roughriders to follow last year and then this year has just been constant nothing but roller coasters of emotions, which it's making me feel football alive again, which is good. Like it's like I'm really getting into the football season. But the Riders, man, they went on the road to Toronto to play the Argos. This is the end of the game. Now, the Riders, get out to a big lead and they tend to like, oh my God, they're going to blow this.
Yeah.
They've done this a couple of times where it's just like the Red Blacks almost came back to beat them. They almost lost the first game. And the Riders do this. This is what they do. And I'm just starting to learn this. I'm like, oh God, I'm not ready for this. So the Riders are up by 7. Brett Lothar misses a field goal, and we get a rouge. So now they're up by 8. Toronto then comes right back down the field, scores a touchdown, and then they get a goal line fade, which, that's got to work in the CFL really well, right?
Oh, it's way better than the CFL.
Yeah, because there's 20-yard end zones. So they get a goal line fade to tie the game up 32-32 with 23 seconds left. And I'm like, damn it. I'm like, can they go down the field and get a field goal? And so the commentator for the CFL was like, do you kick it to Mario Alford, the former West Virginia player? Do you kick it to him? And he was like, I wouldn't. No. And then so, the Argos kick it to him, and then it's a 99-yard touchdown return. And the Argos win with like 10 seconds left after a 90. The Riders, oh my God, the Riders are killing me. I don't know how they pulled out this win. The Riders win, like, I'm so dramatic in that game. It was nuts.
I don't know that your heart can take much more Rough Rider football this season, my friend.
It's been there's 3-0, and I'm like, okay, this is
like the most uncomfortable 3-0 ever.
I need a bye week already.
Yeah,
it's like last week I was like, I need a bye. I definitely need a bye week after this. But again, it's great. We had the absolute Sickos special between Calgary and the Red Blacks that happened. Beth, are you back? Beth, do you remember Mario Alford for West Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to win the game for the Riders with like 10 seconds left.
Hell yeah, we love it.
It was great. It was dramatic. So let's go to the Sickos game of the CFL. The Red Blacks versus the Stampeders. The Red Blacks were winless, 0-2. The Stampeders were 2-0. As you remember, John Fraser said that the Stampeders were going to be the worst team in the CFL. He has that little bit of the curse in the CFL preview episode. This game took place in a -1 wind chill and rain, driving rainstorm in Calgary. Bridget's like, yeah, I can believe that. Some bad weather up there. So
it's been bad up here, you guys. I'm freezing.
The beginning of the game is the Red Blacks get a field goal. It's 3-0. Then the Stampeders get a safety. It's 3-2. And I'm like, oh God, CFL, I love you. Then the score of the game is a field goal for the Red Blacks. They're up 6-2 at halftime. Then the Stampeders get the Iowa field goal, I'm going to call this. I don't know. The CFL field goal. They get a rouge, so now it's 6-3. Nice. So then the Red Blacks get another field goal, and it's 9-3. Then the Stampeders answer with a field goal. It is 9-6. Then the Red Blacks counter again with another field goal. It is 12-6.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Stampeders come back in the third quarter. Just nothing but field goals and one single in the third quarter. It is 12-9. 51-yarder, good. Stamps down 12-9. The beginning of the fourth quarter, the Red Blacks get a single. Now they're up 13-9.
God damn it.
Then the Stamps get another field goal to make it 13-12. Then the Red Blacks went ahead and ruined it. They scored a touchdown and then won the game 20-12.
Lame.
So again,
that does not tell the full story of that score.
It does not. So a safety, 2 punt singles, 7 field goals, and 1 touchdown and 1 extra point in a game. Amazing.
Art.
Just amazing.
We also have a big man touchdown by Winnipeg. Let's look at this real fast.
The big man touchdown ran a route.
Ooh.
He ran a route. It just seems like that's not fair.
So a Canadian Thicc Six, is that like a round version? Like, is it ham?
Is that like a thick version of Canadian bacon? Like thick cut Canadian bacon?
Here we go. This is the Winnipeg is on the 5-ish.
Yes.
Against the BC Lions.
Yeah.
He is out in the slot to the right of Kolaris. On the run to his right. Zach trying to find somebody, drops it off, and it's caught.
Yes.
Look at this.
That was impressive. He had guys covering him.
Yeah. He actually ran like a corner out route, which is like a little out route for a lineman. On the run, on the move, gets both feet in, even though he only need one in CFL. Just a beautiful play.
I'd say he's eligible. Yep, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is why the Bombers are the best team.
There's a lot of people don't understand the concept of parallax. Because every time I post something from the CFL, everyone gets weird, like they were across the line. Because in the CFL, you can run towards the line before the snap. And everyone says, oh, they were over the line. It was offsides. It has to do with where the camera is. It isn't like if you drew a line down the field, you could see it. It's hard to see from the angles on the TV.
They don't have the line of scrimmage thing that they have for like Monday Night Football.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do. It just it doesn't look quite right from where it is, and people freak out all the time about how everyone's offsides. No, they're not offsides.
I just trusted. I just learned to like see if there a flag or not. Like it just like I've got to the point where I watch enough CFL where it's just like the refs will catch it if it is that. I'll let it go.
I love that it's like no, I've watched enough CFL. I know how this game works now.
It's kind of like that. It's just like I'm gonna trust the refs here because my mind thinks what these other people are thinking, but now it's just like I'm gonna leave that to the ref. Just like when you play like a game and you're like, okay, is my player offside? The automatic whatever, we'll do it. I'll just leave it to the ref. Like they'll catch it.
And I figure if the coaches aren't losing their shit, then it's probably fine. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the Toledo area on June 28th, you owe it to yourself to go to the Italian Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And to us, frankly. You owe it to us. You owe us this boon.
This is Italian Bowl XLIV. What is that one?
XLiv?
Yeah, that is...
44?
Yeah, 44. This is Italian Bowl 44. That's a lot of Italian bowls.
That's a lot of Italian bowls.
Holy shit, that's a lot of Italian bowls. This is in the Glass Bowl in Toledo. The finals are set. It's going to be the Guelfi Firenze versus the Ancona Dolphins.
Yes.
We're not going to break this game down because watching IFL is hard enough. They do struggle sometimes.
It's going to be easy on Saturday. You just have to be in Toledo.
Let me break down the game for you here, all right? The Guelfi Firenze.
The X's and O's.
They dominated Group B with an undefeated 11-0 record led by a high-point-powered offense and one of the league's most solid defenses. The Guelfi are making their 4th straight appearance in the Italian Bowl and return to the States seeking a measure of revenge after their 29-13 loss to Parma in the Glass Bowl in 2023.
You hate losing to Parma.
The Ancona Dolphins, founded in 1982, the Dolphins have played 30 seasons in the IFL's top division, but haven't reached the Italian Bowl for 20-plus years. A league-leading defense, staunch rushing attack, and 10 straight victories to close the season land the Dolphins in Toledo for a date with destiny. That is on their Instagram page. You could read that.
Okay, I'm glad that was intense. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was kind of getting Chris Berman vibes there.
That's right.
Bum, bum, ba-da-bum.
I don't believe the Guelphi have ever won a championship. They have not. No, sorry, they've won one. My bad. They've won one.
They were in the title game back 2 years ago.
Yes.
The last time this was in Toledo.
They lost to the Cheese Cats.
So
The Parma
I
Panthers.
mean,
And did
I'm
last year too, again.
obviously, yeah, I'm obviously excited for this because it's gonna be a good time. I've every time that you get an opportunity to tailgate, you take that opportunity, and especially in June. I mean, what other tailgating is there around this time?
Perfect tailgating weather.
Perfect tailgating.
Well, I haven't looked at the weather yet, but
okay. Hey, Italian Bowl.
Can't be worse than right now.
Italian Bowl, we got to talk. The shop link on your page is a 404 not found link. Come on, guys.
Well, you know what? 2 years ago, I was able to just buy a shirt at the game, so I don't think that's a problem.
I'm looking at the passport to the Taste of Italy. That you can get there. There's a place called Guy's Pizza.
Yes, got to get some Guy's Pizza. Some guys getting pizza.
There's also a place called.
How many guys?
This is a possessive guys.
Oh,
okay.
I was
gonna say, are there five of them?
And more than 6? Yeah.
No Olive Garden on here.
It's good.
Just
Smart
saying,
people
no
in Toledo.
The top attractions, by the way. The top attractions in the Toledo area, according to Toledo Museum of Art, Toledo Zoo and Aquarium, Cedar Point. I forget Cedar Point's near Toledo.
It's not that close.
It's okay.
I mean, it's on the way. It's on last year
from here.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like last year, I want to say I combined the Italian Bowl with Cedar Point. Maybe that was a different trip, but I've definitely it's on the way. Like Cedar Point is kind of in between Toledo and Cleveland. Like when I'm driving, I get past seeing all the Toledo stuff. Like almost immediately, I start seeing signs for Cedar Point. And once I stop seeing signs for Cedar Point, I almost immediately start seeing signs for Cleveland. So yeah, I feel like it's right there. Plus, if you're coming all the way from Italy, that's not that far extra to go to Cedar Point.
Don't go to Cedar Point.
But you can't
go
take
to the
a
Carousel
train.
Museum instead.
Okay, it's not close at all. Never mind.
Define not close at all.
Let's see here.
It's Montana close.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm trying to gauge.
About 40 miles.
We got the Italian Bowl on Saturday. I'm staying in the hotel on Saturday night. Sunday, I might just go to Cedar Point just to show how close it is to everyone here.
This page also recommends the Rosary Cathedral as a place to go for all you Italian Catholics out there.
There are a lot of those, I think.
Listen, if you want a spot to go to Mass, they've done the legwork for you.
I mean,
if you want to get the authentic papal experience, you really need to come to the old US of A.
the Pope leads the girls to the glass
cathedral
bowl.
in Ohio.
Pope comes to the glass bowl for the Italian Bowl.
Why go to the Vatican when you could go to Rosary Cathedral in Toledo, Ohio?
I mean, just as good.
I mean, many people have called it the St. Peter's Basilica of Ohio.
Honestly, I would agree.
We had a meetup of people named Ryan at Coors Field.
Yes, we did.
How many Ryans do we have?
We got to like 700 in the section. Also, ESPN's Ryan McGee was there, part of the Ryans. He did a segment on it, which I didn't realize this, but it was at a Rockies game, which I figured tickets were probably cheap enough for that.
I mean, that can't be a whole lot of.
And it's easier to get to than the gathering of the Kyles.
Yeah, it was tough because you had to go to Kyle, Texas.
Did Nolan Ryan go? Does he count?
No, these are first name Ryans.
Only first names?
Only first name Ryans.
Do you think there's anyone out there named Ryan?
Yes.
I'm just imagining somebody hosting an all Ryan meetup that is baseball related, and Nolan Ryan tries to come, and they're like, "No, sir.
No, sir.
Sorry, Nolan.
Or you can be our honorary Ryan.
We can't count you though.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a real Ryan.
You can lead us in the benediction, and that's it.
So apparently, the biggest meetup of names is actually like the record is Ivan.
That doesn't surprise me.
Was it in like Russia?
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking Ivans.
Yeah.
Listen, the Bolshevik Revolution doesn't count.
No, this is in Bosnia. Sorry.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my God, the thing. Look, I clicked on Ryan Meetup, like .com events, and then at the beginning it says, "Welcome to the Ryan Meetup. I certify my name is not Brian or Brian."
Yeah,
with
no
a Y and an
Brian's.
Like, this is the thing. Let me get to this website. I was like, I certify
fuck off
that.
Bryans.
That's right. No Bryans or.
Can you go if you're one of the RIANN Ryans?
I don't think you're allowed. I think this is just RYANs.
Let me see.
Is there a store link, and is it a 404?
Merch. There is merch.
Yes.
It says Ryan. It is an Etsy shop.
Of course it is.
For the Ryan Meetup.
Oh, please show us stuff. I want to send stuff to my best friend in college who chose the name Ryan for his English name.
Oh my God, there's a Miami Heat knockoff jersey that says Ryan Culture.
Oh my God, I need to see it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
I'm posting it. I can only post
Oh my God.
Did you see the Pokemon shirt? Because the Pokemon shirt is great.
The Rye or Die one. It's very good.
Oh, it's so good.
Ryan, the Vans hat.
Oh no, we got different spellings.
Yeah, no, there's one.
RYAN and RIAN and RYANN and RHYAN, which is an illegal use of the letter H, and RYANNE.
This is wild shit.
So the no Bryans with a Y allowed hat.
I love that.
I want that hat.
Can we talk about the Vans ripoff?
Yes, the Ryans, Vans.
Where they took the Vans and they just sort of extended it so it makes a Y, and they put an R in front of it.
I feel like that is legally actionable.
Possibly.
So much of this is legally actionable. Yes.
What about Portland Trailblazers player Ryan Repair? But I think it's spelled RAYAN.
This is amazing.
I think no, because is that how you spell Ryan in French?
I love that they had the like I Heart NY. They have I Heart RY.
Oh, that'll get you sued real fast. New York is not.
All of these will get you sued if someone notices them.
Which is why you do it in Colorado, which doesn't have laws.
It's true.
There's one that's like the Friends logo too.
The Ryan Culture. I'm dying. And then on the back of the jersey it says Ryan. Could you believe that?
Ryan Culture is the funniest one to me, just given how those jerseys went for the Heat.
God, they suck so much.
Can we also talk about the shirt with the quote that says, "I like the name, I like the culture," attributed to Ryan?
That's right. A lot of Ryans.
Ryans are getting too muddy. I don't like this.
Yeah.
So
Ryan McGee did a YouTube video for it, and he did an ESPN segment. You should watch it. It's good.
Oh my God.
So why a Colorado Rockies game? I would think they should have done this somewhere in Europe so everyone could fly on Ryanair.
Oh God.
I mean, why couldn't they have it at a meetup at the steakhouse?
I will not
Ryan's?
cheers to that.
What about the steakhouse called Ryan's? Do they still have those?
I've never heard of that.
Oh, Ryan's?
I think there are some up here.
Never heard of
that. It's kind of like Golden Corral, but it was called Ryan's.
Ugh.
Oh, it's no longer in operation. It closed in 2020.
Oh, COVID got them.
COVID got the Ryans.
Gone the way of Sizzler. Also, grip it and rip it, Arthur.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I got my Corvallis cider here. So
good choice.
Shout out to Corvallis. I'm also drinking a Topo Chico that I had in my pocket from the Thorns game because I was sitting in the club level. And at Providence Park in the club level, it includes like complimentary non-alcoholic beverages, but they just have these big tubs of like cans of Coke, Pepsi, Topo Chico, water bottles, like that sort of thing. So I walked out of there, I had a couple in my pocket.
Oh yeah, baby, just walk out.
In other college football news, Matt Rhule is now taking pictures with cows with a boombox.
Yeah,
he's living his absolute best life in Nebraska. I love this so much.
So these two photos that we see of Matt Rhule here made me create a Matt Rhule album on my phone.
You're gonna get one of those like Matt.
I want one of those, and I'm gonna share it with everybody once I get one.
Wait, Commish, do you have an iPhone?
I was just gonna ask the same question, Arthur. I think I know where you're going.
Because like Apple will make albums automatically if they see a person in enough photos.
Yes.
I
just want memories with Matt Rhule.
Memories with Matt Rhule. That's what I want. That's why I created an album. I will share this video when it happens. I'm not going to force the video to be produced. They're going to have to say memories.
No, it has to happen naturally. Also, if you work for Nebraska in media, and you were instrumental in the creation of these photos, I'd love to talk to you about your process. What was the vision board like?
I just emailed their SID for an interview with Matt Rhule, and I wanted to ask some questions about these photos.
Wonderful.
I just did that today.
Please ask for the mood board.
I'm waiting a response here.
What was the brainstorming session like?
I want to know. I want to ask.
I need you to ask him if he
know.
thinks that. I need you to ask him if he thinks that bull could take Bevo in a fight.
The main thing that I want to ask him is, are you acting like a bad boy because you won the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl?
You know,
that's what I want to know.
Everybody mocked the Nebraska stuff with the giant N in the middle. Mm-hmm. And Matt Rhule is out here just embracing it with every fiber of his being.
Yep, I love it.
He should have been like
He's
this.
He's going to make it happen.
If he had been like this with Temple football would be in a whole different place.
Okay, but then explain to me how you make Temple cool in the way that you have this aesthetic for Nebraska. How does that work for Temple?
Ride an owl.
Ride an owl.
You lead into the Philly thing.
Yeah, just full. He probably did, and we just probably didn't notice it.
No,
they didn't do it good enough.
Well, he did lean into like the blue collar thing of Philly, but like it wasn't like over the top.
Or you didn't have him dressed up like Ben Franklin at the Liberty Bell, right? No. We would have seen that.
Man, I just had a jump scare of Matt Rhule in a Carolina Panthers hoodie. Oh no, no, let's not talk about that.
Matt Rhule with his leg propped up on the Farmer's Almanac, looking angry.
Mm-hmm. Things of this nature. I would like to see it.
Oh my God, like clean shaven Matt Rhule at Temple.
Matt Rhule,
God,
bench pressing the Liberty Bell.
Oh, it was.
He's such a baby face back in the day. I'd forgotten about that.
Coming out from under the Liberty Bell with like a fun pose.
Mm-hmm. Leaping like off the Liberty Bell.
Matt Rhule didn't have enough cred to like do the
to make
the
it happen.
Thing.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. This is not the face of a man who can pull off the same pictures and the same aesthetic as the man in the photos for Nebraska right now.
Can't do that.
He hasn't seen some shit yet. He hasn't gone through Temple football. He doesn't know.
He hadn't coached the Panthers yet. So
I think between going from Baylor to the Panthers must have aged him like.
Yeah, the Panthers is just like, yeah.
And by aged him, you mean like dry aged like a steak.
Wasn't his big problem with Baylor was that he couldn't get liquor in Waco? Is that a dry county? I think it's a dry county. It might be.
It was. I think it's no longer.
The West Virginia to me is baffled by this notion of can't get liquor in. You can get liquor anywhere, kids.
Waco Dry County.
That is a skill issue. Yeah, I'm Googling it right now.
Yes, that is a skill issue.
It used to be.
It used to be. McLennan County used to be. It's been wet for some time now. Thank you.
No. Strike that one from the record.
I'm just reading. Yeah,
it's not how we describe counties that are not dry counties. We don't call them wet counties.
Well, the best one is the county that has like, there are counties that are sort of in the middle. We call them moist counties.
Oh God.
So your counties come in wet, dry, or moist.
Upset.
So there are only 4 completely dry counties left in Texas.
Is Loving County one of them?
No, but they also are not.
Those 38 people must be
one
pissed.
by Tyler, Texas, but I think that changed. I think it was like Smith County. Used to be dry, but I don't think anymore.
So there are 4 dry counties. There are 55 wet counties, and then 195 moist counties.
No.
Boy,
Jordan, no.
I have a lot of options for episode titles between all of those Pitbull lyrics we read in this.
I'm having the time of my life. No. No one? Okay.
Nope.
Can't copyright strike it if I sing it.
True.
I love
Then
it.
I'd have to admit that you sang it well.
Right. See,
I love you.
It's not intelligible. You can't tell. YouTube TV has started providing us more quad box options.
Yeah.
And we got a combo the Coastal Carolina LSU and a Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives dual box.
We had another curse box. It was like Bayern Munich versus Boca Juniors, and then like 3 Talking Heads news programs.
Oh,
bad Talking Heads news programs, the kind that you make your parents turn off.
Yes, and it was like, and then like, how could you watch that?
You are describing the most cursed hospital waiting room.
Oh, it was even worse than that.
Oh God, Nana's getting her blood work.
Kind of. It was very bad.
I mean, so this is a byproduct of the way that YouTube TV does their multi-view, where, because I remember back in the day, PlayStation View was a thing, and they had a multi-view, and this is how a lot of multi-views work, where you can just pick what you want. You can say, I want this channel and that channel and this channel, and you can put it together. The way that YouTube TV does it is they do everything like themselves on their end.
Yeah.
And then when you select a multi-view, you're really just selecting, it's like you're selecting a new channel that just happens to have whatever the multi-view they've put together is, which means that they have to be the ones to put together the multi-view. So this means a couple things, right? One, it means that you don't necessarily get the multi-view you want. One, if there's something that's really esoteric, like if you're like, yeah, like I want to watch PBS and WWE at the same time, like probably not going to happen. But it also means, oh, and by the way, this is not just for random things. Like if it's just something that they don't pay enough attention to, right? Like when college baseball has been happening, when you've had multiple games at the same time, but college baseball isn't something that's risen to the level that YouTube TV pays attention to, then they're not going to do a quad box for it. But then the other thing is that, you know, they're putting these together because they have the capability and they want to have them out there even when there isn't like an obvious thing. So they're just kind of throwing popular channels in there, right? So the main like ESPNs, maybe like your FS1s, like main sports channels, that sort of thing. Your main like entertainment channels like Food Network, HGTV, Discovery, that sort of thing. And then probably like your main news channels, right? Like your CNNs, that sort of thing. They're all just kind of throwing them in there because there are times when they don't know what to do, but they feel like they should have something because this is a capability that they're advertising that they claim to have, they claim to deliver on. So, you know, that's kind of what they're doing.
Commish, send us on the rails, please.
All right. I'm just going to say this is the finale because of the Conductor series, commingled newspapers. You know, just this is the final. Like, there's not going to be a team that has rode the rails as much. So we're going to ride the rails with the GAELS, the St. Mary's GAELS. This is incredible. I don't know how I found this, but I did. My Google algorithm found this for me, and I finally did it. This is a rail series where St. Mary's, which is based out of California, right?
Yes.
They decided to play some games in New York City. So they went from west to east. So St. Mary's University, California, the GAELS, at the time that they decided to do this, they really only had 100 students. And, they ballooned up to 550 after this. But they perfected the railroad trips, cross-country railroad trips while this happened. While this time was going on, they perfected this. They went St. Mary's to Fordham to play in the New York Polo Grounds in 1930, 1932, 1933, 1934, 1935, 1936, 1938, 1939, 1940, 1941, 1942, 1946. Then they decided to go further. 1947, they went to Boston College.
Why?
In 1948, they went to Boston College again.
Why would you do that?
And then football ended in 1950.
Because it couldn't pay for the travel. What the shit?
This has to be a grift.
This is incredible, all right? So, now I'm going to tell you just on these trips that they went to Fordham so many times. Fordham never came to them. Fordham never went out to California to play them.
Why would you?
And one of these schools still has football. You'll never guess which one.
It's Fordham.
Now, okay, but we found out that Fordham has gotten rid of football 5 times.
Yes, true.
That's because you got to listen to Leviticus. You got to tear that shit down. Then you need to kill a pigeon and sprinkle the blood of the pigeon onto the walls, and then the football won't come back.
So
otherwise, it's unclean.
So I'm just going to tell you what happened. And you remember your name Skeet that you mentioned earlier?
Uh-huh.
All right. The head coach that started this for the St. Mary's GAELS, his name was Slip Madigan.
Slip.
That's right.
Like what you do on a banana.
Was that his given?
No.
Was that his given name?
His full name was Edward Patrick Slip Madigan.
So the slip was like legally in there?
It's
Patrick
probably a
slip.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry, Slip Madigan. He's in the Hall of Fame, the College Football Hall of Fame. Although the school's enrollment seldom exceeded 500, the Galloping GAELS became nationally known as a football power. Madigan traveled to New York for the game with 150 fans on a train that was labeled the world's longest bar.
Okay, I'm in.
Hell yeah.
To stir up publicity for the first game, he threw a party the night before the game and invited sports writers and celebrities. Babe Ruth, the New York mayor Jimmy Walker attended the party. Fordham was a heavy favorite, and the Rams had won 16 straight games going back to 1928. They featured the first version of a defense known as the 7 Blocks of Granite, a formidable unit that would later include Vince Lombardi. St. Mary's in the first game that they played for them recovered from a halftime deficit in 1930 to win the game 20-12.
So
the 7 Blocks of Granite, one of the hardest nicknames we've heard for like old time players.
Yes.
Oh, that's excellent. So what year was all this? What year was the world's longest bar?
1930 was the first one.
Prohibition was repealed in 1933.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is some boardwalk.
I was just trying to make sure I was mathing this correctly.
Yeah. We talk about the roaring 20s, baby. Like 1930s still. So this is this is intense. So you want to know how St. Mary's did this so many times. So St. Mary's College of California and football train cars, the St. Mary's GAELS football team, At the time, the football team was in a category of their own and were dominating any opponent that came their way. The success of the St. Mary's Gaels can be attributed to their coach at the time, Slip Madigan. Before the arrival of their famous coach, Slip Madigan, fewer than 100 students were enrolled at St. Mary's, but after the arrival of their coach, it was only the beginning. The St. Mary's Gaels had been known around town for their flashy style, which reflected the personality of their coach, Slip. The Gaels would travel from game to game using special train cars, as mentioned in the All Aboard the Tailgate Train by Justin Nystrom. Football special trains have been around since the invention of the game itself. These trains that St. Mary's used consisted of multiple cars that included a gym, sleeping, dining, and reveling cars. The trips
I'm sorry, what? Try that again. A reveling car?
Yes. Did I say that wrong?
No, you didn't. You said that correctly.
No, we just have lots of questions about what counts as reveling.
I don't know.
No, not a Reveille car. That's for Texas A&M. That's a different.
Yeah, that's a Reveille car. That's what they have misread.
This is bringing me back to there's your problem about the Marlboro train.
The Marlboro train, the Marlboro Unlimited,
Mm-hmm.
the hot tub.
So the trips from game to game would take a few days to up to a week, depending on where the game was taking place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
As a result of the travel time, the St. Mary's gym car consisted of rub-down tables, that's a weird phrase, exercise equipment, bucking machines for the linemen's use. I'm just imagining like linemen just like dipping their shoulder into these things, and
This
a battery
is the
of
wildest
showers.
cause for a derailment.
Right. Well, but here's the thing: if they had linemen who were actually working out in like the 30s, that they were way ahead of their time, because Nebraska didn't invent lifting heavy things until much later.
Yeah, at this point, isn't the whole strategy just being heavy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even that heavy though. Like we're talking heavies in like 180.
180
Yeah,
to
as in like
200.
Broad-shouldered.
Yes.
I feel like a train workout back in those days would just be like shoveling coal into the engine.
You would think, right? So the purpose of keeping all the members of the football team hydrated and ready, the gym car had its own water supply. This was a commodity that would not be found on any other car of the train. At the time, these special football trains were not only being used to transport players and coaches, but also used to transport the fans to the game as well.
Oh God, can you imagine how rowdy that train was?
Oh my God!
Can you imagine how much that train would suck if you lost and you have to go back?
Yes.
I feel like it would still be a good time.
It's
Just
still a good
you
time.
people bitching.
You're fucking trapped in like one of the scout boards and you can't get off.
Right, but here's the problem. If it's 1930, they have 3 years until Prohibition has come back. So how are you gonna like commiserate? How are you gonna deal with the loss?
Party train.
It's the world's longest bar.
It's the world's longest bar. You can't stop them. They just crossing all the jurisdictions on the way.
They just pick up some shine on the way.
NASCAR train.
It's like how the money plane doesn't have to obey laws because it's in international airspace. Like this train is just going.
International rail space.
International rail.
Gotta catch me to prosecute me. Bye.
Right. So at the time, this is what they'd do. Although the use of these trains would cut travel time in half, it would still take a few days to get from one location to another for the game day. When the Gaels would travel from California to New York in order to play Fordham, this would still take about 5 days. This meant that food was necessary on board to keep the players and fans and anyone else, plus the people, fed. I have a picture of that. I also have a menu from the 1940 trip.
Yes. Oh, yes.
How many deviled eggs are we doing?
How much mayonnaise are we eating?
Oh, God.
Good news, kids. It's tripe night.
Okay, but it depends on how it's prepared.
On a train in the 30s.
Yeah, no, it's not Vietnamese. Okay, no.
So
It's
just
not in
basically
your
the lunch cost $1. You had chilled grapefruit juice, fresh clam chowder.
Nope, I'm
absolutely not.
I am
Nebraska's finest.
Do you want everybody leaning out the window to hurl?
You were talking about tomato jello shots, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, they had jelly tomato bouillon.
That is a surprise. Oh
perfect. It's like an aspect progenitor.
That's right. They had a filet of sole, sauce tartare, Pacific Coast shrimps.
Why so much seafood?
I don't know. A grilled lamb chop on toast, baked sugar cured ham and apricot sauce, brown potatoes, green beans. I can't even say all beer.
All beer with butter.
Fruit salad with princess dressing, assorted cold bread, green apple pie with cheese, chocolate nut sundae and sweet wafers, cream cheese, wild blackberry jam, coffee, tea, and milk.
Okay, honestly, if not for the 1930s of this, would. Like,
I mean, there
if
are
a
some
restaurant today had this
suspect.
menu, yeah, I would eat at this restaurant in 2025.
Like the cream cheese and wild blackberry jam, get some crackers with that. That's good. That's a good app.
5 days on a train in 1930s.
Yes.
With their refrigeration technology.
This is super norovirus that you are attempting to have. Like, this is going to turn into poop train very fast and in the worst way.
So I want to say that this train that they had, like the technology of the train, it was the Steamliner. It was America's first fully steamlined, lightweight, high-speed train, completely air-conditioned. All right? So this is the first one here.
Okay, but what about the refrigeration?
I don't know about that. So
only the gym car has its own water supply. So how do you feel about it?
I have no idea. You got coffee, tea, and milk. Go ahead. I'm sure that's good. The M10,000 only required 500 horsepower to go 90 miles an hour, as opposed to the conventional steam trains that required 4,500 horsepower to reach 90 miles an hour. With fuel tanks stored in the floor, this allowed the M10,000 to travel 1,200 miles without needing to stop for water or refueling.
That's pretty good.
This was 12 times the distance a conventional train loaded with coal could travel. This became known as tomorrow's train today.
Welcome to
tomorrow's
the
train.
Tomorrow.
Today.
Oh, it's
honestly,
a great, beautiful tomorrow.
Like, we kind of talk about this stuff as like old timey or like, oh, like, you know, that's cool how they did it back in the day. Man, this just sounds cool. Like, this is the first one of these train trips where I'm like,
yeah,
this sounds like a great time.
I would like to experience the world's longest bar.
This is one that, you know, I just found them like, this is the end all. Like, this is the one that did it the best. They did it so many times. They perfected it. And they did it in right fashion. So I want to just let you know their record when they went to Fordham. They finished 5-5-1 by doing this.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. They finished one year 9-0-1. They won like a bowl game against Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl in 1938. The same year they did this to Fordham. So like they perfected this better than anybody else in the history for this. Like, because I know we read these ones before. Like Brown went all the way from Rhode Island to you know, Los Angeles for the Rose Bowl and got shut out. Like St. Mary's was doing this and almost beating Fordham's ass every time they went to the Polo Grounds. My favorite year for them, it was 1942. They went St. Mary's to Fordham. Then the game after that, they went right to Pittsburgh to tie Duquesne. And then they, at the end of the year, they went back to Detroit like a month later on this train, and they beat Detroit 2-0. So,
St. Mary's, we're going to need you to bring back football.
We do.
Mm-hmm. And
they brought it back in 1970, and then it was around for like as a club team, and then they ended in 2004. But like the St. Mary's GAELS, they knew how to ride the rails.
I don't know. Right now, we know we have a school in California that's looking to raise their profile in football.
Ooh.
Train school.
I'm just saying.
Listen, I mean, honestly, I've got a buddy in Sacramento working on HSR. This is, if they can get HSR going.
High-speed rail for Sacramento State. There you go. That's how you do it.
Commish, when you started this thing, you just talked about how they always went to Fordham. I assumed that there had to be someone in the St. Mary's athletic department sleeping with someone in New York City. And now that I hear about, like, they must have just been making these trips because they got this dope ass train. Like you got the
See,
train,
that's
you're
what I
gonna
think.
use
Or
it.
they have a blood feud with Fordham, and they want an excuse to get out there and beat that ass.
I don't necessarily know why they always went to Fordham. I could not figure out why they kept doing this. So I don't know if this was like Slip Madigan just wanting to get his ass to New York and have parties with Babe Ruth, which it could have been because Slip was there as the head coach through 1939. So Slip made a trip in 1930, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 38, and 39. Slip went on the majority of these trips. They only went 6 other times after Slip. So, I mean, they are. I don't know. I couldn't find a reason why. I'm gonna keep digging, and maybe I'll find one eventually, and I'll do it on another podcast episode. But I could not find a reason why he wanted to go to Fordham all the time. It seemed like it was something that they wanted to raise the profile of the school, which it did. And Fordham was a formidable team at the time too. So
they were ranked pretty often.
Yeah. Like St. Mary's was 9-0-1 in 1926. They, again, 8-0-1 in 1929. They were 8-1 in 1930. Their only loss was to Cal at Cal 7-6. They were a very, very, very good team back in the day. And then them taking these train trips raised the profile of the school. And I mean, I know football went by the wayside, but I just don't know why they decided to go there. I just don't know why.
We'll look it up and see what happens.
I'm gonna have to figure it out.
This is the equivalent of me driving from Portland State's campus to where Portland State plays football just to see how long it takes because I want to drive my rental car.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what this is. It's like we got a vehicle, we like it, we got to take it for a spin.
Okay, folks, that's what we got for tonight. Thank you, Commish, for talking about the world's longest bar and the St. Mary's GAELS, and we will see you guys on the other side.